this thing. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the latest edition and episode of Empty the Clip podcast. Today, I'm going to talk about the 75 Hard program. This is a program that is 75 days, as it states, where you do two 45-minute workouts a day, two separate sessions, one of which must be outdoors. So regardless of what's going on, if it's raining, if it's snowing, sleeting, you have to go outside and you need to do at least 45 minutes of activity. Now, this doesn't mean you need to go balls to the wall, but you need to be doing something physically active, getting your heart rate going, getting moving, something that's going to benefit your health for 45 minutes. So there's two 45-minute workouts. You need to read 10 pages of a non-fictional book. You must take a progress picture every day to record your progress for the 75 days. You must follow a diet, no cheat meals, and if you have to question a food, if it is or is not on your diet, you probably shouldn't be eating it anyways. And then the final thing is you have to drink 1 gallon of water a day. And you do that process or daily tasks every day for 75 days. When I found out about this challenge, and I call it a challenge here because at the time it was this viral sensation on TikTok, Instagram, where everyone was doing the 75 Hard challenge. But after listening to Andy Frisella's podcast, the creator of the 75 Hard program, he goes in depth about what this program will do for you and how it's not just some challenge, but it's a program that's supposed to change your life. And I believe it has changed my life in the past 2.5 months that I've been through the program. Now, I started the program in March, actually trying to do it. My stepsister actually showed it to me in 2020, and we kind of did it, but I didn't really understand or grasp the full concept of it. I didn't understand what it was really supposed to be. I was like, oh, I can stay on track. COVID's kind of thrown me off, and this would be something cool to do, but I didn't really do the challenge. So come March, I decided I really want to do this for real. So I bought the app. It's a great app, keeps you accountable because you can check off your stuff, and it feels good to check each box each day and see your progress. It also keeps a little diary log, which is very helpful, and I wish I took better notes. I only took notes towards the end, but since starting phase 1, I'm going to be taking more notes. And starting in March, I really failed a lot. I was not disciplined, so I'd miss a day. I missed the progress pick. Or I'd be too lazy to get my second workout in because I would do 2 workouts a day, but one of them was not outdoors. So I wasn't completing my daily required tasks, and I was very soft about it. I was making excuses. I was tired. Just the common things that were not allowing me to get things done. And I could see this carry over. If I was soft about the 75 Hard program, I was soft about doing my chores in the house, getting all my tasks done at work in a timely manner. So it required me to do extra hours at work that I may not have had to do if I was more disciplined. So, March passes, April passes, and in May, something clicked. Either it was I think it was early May or late April. And I gave myself one more ultimatum on doing and completing the 75 Hard program. And I just made a commitment to myself at no excuses that I was going to complete this. And then there was no compromises. And in this program, there is no compromise because even if you're on the 74th day, if you do not complete all the tasks, you fail and you start over at day 1. So here we are. 78 days later, past the program in phase 1 now, and I'm a completely different human being, I feel like, internally. A lot of people that do this challenge on the outside see a huge physical change in their body. I saw some. I got a little more leaner, maybe a little more muscle mass put on, but I felt like I was already in pretty decent shape, not amazing shape, but pretty decent shape if you check it out on Instagram. But mentally, internally, there's things that I do that I did not do 2.5 months ago. One of which is becoming an avid reader. So I do the 10 pages of reading minimally a day, but now I found myself reading, 15, 20, and on the weekends, probably 30 pages of a self-help book. And just to give you guys a quick rundown of the books that I read, mind you, I started in March, so really I've been reading books for like the past, 4 months instead of the 2.5. So I read Gary Vaynerchuk's Crushing It. I read Jocko Willink's, Extreme Ownership, which is a great leadership book, with him and Leif Babin talking about their lives in the Navy SEALs. Gary Vee talks about crushing it in business. I read Tim Grover's book, Relentless, and I'm currently reading Tim Grover's book, Winning. I read Matthew McConaughey's, I guess it's an autobiography called Green Lights, about his life. And then I read a book about real estate. So currently, again, I'm on the Tim Grover Winning, which recently came out less than a month ago. It's a great book talking about the history of Tim Grover and how to win. So I highly recommend those books. I think each one of them had a good impact on me for, business, economics, health and fitness, and most importantly, the mental aspect of becoming a good reader. Well, not a good reader, but an avid reader. And I hope to keep learning and continue to read. I would use the reading as a good way to get into a zone before a workout or calm me down before bed and try to use less screen time, so I felt like it was improving my life in that way, which is amazing. The 1 gallon of water thing wasn't super challenging. I drink a lot of water naturally, especially since it's the summertime. You're constantly sweating, so you need water regardless. But it definitely made me more self-conscious about the amount of water I was taking in regards to the amount of working out that I was doing. So I'm probably getting about 1.5 gallons in a day. And then too, also like the 2 workouts, it has made me very intentional and almost more addicted than I was to working out, because you get in this rhythm and you feel accomplished when you go through each and every one of these tasks every day. So getting into a couple stories about 75 Hard. The first week, you're really excited. It's like anything. You start out with all this energy and motivation, but then after literally, I think it was like day 8, so 1 weekend and 1 day, that motivation completely left my body. And there's like this thought of like, okay, well, it's a Monday or Tuesday, it's like 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, do I really want to get this workout in outside? This sucks. Go for that walk or do a nice intense yoga session, whatever it may be. Hop on a cardio equipment machine if you have access to it at your home garage and just move it outside, whatever it may be. And I just started doing that and getting in that rhythm with work, pretty busy 9 to 5, which really it can extend in those hours. Training for a CrossFit competition, and coaching, a summer conditioning program for high school athletes that playing soccer. There's a lot of things to juggle. There's a lot of excuses to be made. So within that first month, everything was pretty good, pretty consistent. And in probably the 40s to the 60s, so day 40 through 60, things started getting a little crazy. In the 40s, that was my first CrossFit competition, so I was balancing getting in shape and getting prepared for that. And there wasn't a ton of struggle there. Work wasn't super crazy, but busy enough to where I probably wasn't getting to bed until about 1 o'clock most nights. I would sleep a lot on the weekends, but I'd go to bed at 1 and probably wake up at like 7. So I was missing my morning workouts. So I'd miss that. I'd go to work. I'd work out after work. I'd come home, and then I still need to do my second workout. So when everything was said and done, from meal prepping to doing kitchen prep, meaning cleaning up the food or cleaning up dinners and preparing meals, getting my lunch in line, laying out my clothes, when all that was said and done, it was like 11 o'clock at night because I was doing, 2-3 hour sessions, workouts to get me in shape. So that was not super fun, but we did it. And I began to feel this transformation in my body and in my mind, where regardless of the circumstances or how I was feeling, I just did it anyways. And this carried over into other aspects. So I am very notorious for not doing my laundry, not washing them, but doing the folding aspect of doing my laundry. And having clothes everywhere. That is still the case, and we were working on it, but it's not as frequent. Before, it would literally be like, I think sometimes there was clothes that were washed that weren't touched for literally weeks on end. Not that they were dirty, but they just weren't folded. But now, no more than a week, clothes will lay around. I will get it done. Things get busy, of course, but I still just get it done. Also, like dishes around the house, tidying up things. The motivation just to get home and get after it and take care of those chores so I can get to bed earlier, so I can have my day more accomplished and finished with at an earlier time, feels good. And I think the 75 Hard program has rewired my brain to give me that motivation, to give me that discipline, which ultimately gives me the freedom to do a bunch of other things. More time to work out, more time with family, more time to eat and relax, more time to do more fun things like watch the NBA Finals that's going on, or watch the Stanley Cup Finals. Whatever suits you for that kind of like escape for a second. Gives me more time for content like this. And so getting back onto the stories, so now I took you through the first month, day 40 through like 50. Day 50 through 60. That was the hardest stretch of 75 Hard. And before I get into this, I just want to tell you guys, I do not recommend doing this. This was definitely not healthy, to say the least. But again, that's no excuse. What I did was stupid, but it's possible. In the sense that no matter how tired I got or exhausted I felt, I still stuck with the program, no matter how ridiculous some of the things may seem and why I did this to myself. But this was, I think, the big turning point and cemented, it cemented for me what the program was all about, and what it did to change me, I think, permanently as a human, and I think it will continue over into the rest of my life and other things as I progress and get older. So, day 50 through 60. We were doing at work the most, so I work in a construction company, and we bid jobs, and we were bidding the most jobs at once, and they were pretty decent sized jobs, and there was a lot to do. And my job as a construction estimator, it's not your typical 9 to 5. The environment, pretty good. People are awesome, but there's a lot of work to be done. Everyone's a hard worker, and we grind. It's an environment that I can thrive in because everyone else works their butt off, which is credit to my boss, who also just is a grinder. So that inspires me to work hard. So getting into it, we were bidding the most stuff ever, and I knew we needed to put in extra time. So for the past 3 weekends leading up to that, I would take one of my either Saturdays or Sundays and work anywhere from 4 to 8 hours just to try to get caught up and get ahead. The week before I left for my CrossFit competition, so I left for the comp on a Friday. I think it was like June 16th or June 17th because the comp was on June 18th. So you had to check in a day earlier. So that week before, so it was like June 10th to the 17th. I slept an average of about 3 to 4 hours. Now that's an average. One night I did not sleep at all. The night before I left for the competition, meaning that Thursday into the Friday, I slept 1 hour. I went to bed at 5 or just before 5, and I woke up a little after 6. So really an hour and a half. And I drove 3.5 of those hours out of the 7 to Boston. I had a wonderful fiance who took a little bit more of the driving for me, and I was so out of whack I could not sleep. So I do not recommend that, because with that lack of sleep and working crazy hours at work, which I'm not blaming anybody at all, I should have gotten that work done. I should have been better and more efficient. It was just a lot to do. 100% accountability on me. So I slept literally, again, very, very little. And on top of it, I was still doing my workouts. I was still staying on the program. I was getting in 2 45-minute workouts, 1 outdoors. And within those sessions, I was still pumping out, man, 2 to 3 hour sessions. And using that 45-minute second session more as like a yoga and recovery, just to try to stimulate my body. But then on the other half of it, sometimes I'd have to like hop on a cardio machine and crank my body up for 45 minutes because, excuse me, I needed the conditioning, I needed the cardio because I wanted to be at peak physical performance mode come June 18th when the competition was. And there was many moments where I wanted to stop and go to sleep and quit 75 hard. But then there was also a second part of me that was like, no, you need to keep going. You made this commitment. You've already come, 50 plus days in. If you can get through this, you can get through pretty much anything, and you can definitely finish out the last 15 days. So Friday when we travel, we get to the hotel. I'm like, should I sleep and just say, screw the program, I'm done with this? It's like day 56 or day 57. It's somewhere recorded in my phone because it was the hardest day. I think the hardest day was day 57, which is the night driving. So this is day 58. And again, it's like a split-second decision. I look at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, nope, screw it, we're going to do this. So I go to the gym hotel, the hotel gym, hop in the pool for about 40 minutes, and I go to the weight room, and I just get moving for about 20, so I got my hour in there, my 45-minute workout, but I still need to get my outdoor workout. So it's literally, I think, 10:15 at night because, traveling from Maryland to Boston, it's a 7-hour drive. We didn't leave exactly when we wanted to because I didn't pack yet. So we were already behind on the day. You had to check in at the gym for the athlete check-in, which was really cool. And so by the time we get settled at the hotel, I get my first workout in. Once we get settled, we get dinner and stuff. And there's still one more workout to be done. So the hotel wasn't sketchy, but it wasn't the greatest area. From an outside appeal and look standpoint. So I walked around the hotel for 45 minutes, like a power walk. And it was late at night, a little dark. It was a little sketcy, but I did it anyways because it's worth it, and I wanted to continue with the program. So that was day 57 or day 58. And, did my workouts and did the competition on that Saturday. Came back to the hotel because I only counted that competition as one workout, even though we did 3 and I pretty much worked out all day. Still, I was like, all right, you got to get your outdoor workout in. So I did, again, another 45-minute outdoor walk and cool down. And talking about that competition, did not go as planned. Do I think that the week leading into it of only sleeping, 3 to 4 hours a day affect me? Absolutely. Did the extra time at work affect me? Absolutely. But again, no excuses. Should have been more prepared. Should have done more to train better, more efficiently. Should have been more efficient at work. Again, 100% accountability for ultimately failing the only person, myself, during that competition. So we're still on 75 hard, so that was a win from the weekend, even though I did poorly for my standards at this competition. I was proud that I still was on 75 hard and knew I made it over the hump. So now we're in like day 60 through 75. Actually, let's just go day 60 through 70 because the last 5 days were quite interesting. So day 60 through 70, pretty smooth sailing. Because I knew I made it past a hard week of the 50s, which was just horrendous. Body still felt like crap, but we got in the workouts, took a deload week, let the body recoup, get everything situated. And then coming into day 70 through 75, I really it just felt weird. Like it was a weird vibe. Body's still feeling jacked up from the comp and not sleeping a whole lot 2 weeks prior, which is weird. Like I'm just starting to feel normal now, or really last week. But the last 5 days, it was a weird feeling of like, you should just quit. You don't need to do this. It was like, I don't know. I guess I wanted just to be done with. I feel like it's like, it's the end of the program. But then like you get to day like 74, I'm like, holy cow, I did it. I have one more day. And then I'm in the gym, working out, getting in my last day of 75 hard. And when I click the screen, everything's checked off. And it was this brief moment of like internal joy and happiness that you can't really describe unless you've experienced it yourself. But it felt really, really good. And then literally within a minute, it just like went away. And I think that's a good example of how a lot of things are in life. Like you work really, really hard. So like I did all 75 days, no compromises, 2 workouts a day, 45 minutes each, 1 outdoor, 10 pages of reading, drank 1 gallon of water, took a progress picture, stuck to a diet, no cheat meals, no alcohol, very, very disciplined. For that one moment of happiness, it was utter bliss in this gym. I didn't cry. Wasn't super emotional, but just like felt really, really good about it. I think that carries over into a lot of things. You work really, really hard. For these one instances, I think of it like an Olympian sprinter. You work 4 years for like 10 seconds if you look at Usain Bolt. 22 seconds if you run the 200 meter. So really less than a minute of running or less than 2 minutes of running, he works for 4 years. And at the end of it too, reflecting, there's certain things that I do and don't do anymore. I spend way less time screwing around on social media because of the 75 Hard program. I am dedicated to producing and pumping out more content. I am taking better care of my body and listening more to my body. I am getting, again, more chores done around the house than ever, and I am more motivated to do so. It's not not even a thought process. Like it just happens. I see it and I'm doing it. It's crazy. My workouts, I feel like I have purpose. You know, you wake up and you have these things you need to accomplish. And that discipline, again, like I said before, it gives you the freedoms to do other things. I feel like I have more time for people, but you can't give so much time that it sucks you into taking away from those things that keep you disciplined. And that's the only thing I would tell people as you're going through this is like it is extremely selfish to go through the 75 Hard program. But in order to advance and become a better person, you kind of have to be selfish. So then either you can help people in the future or somehow create a change in their life or someone else's life for a more positive life, I guess I'm just trying to say. And yeah, that's a wrap on the 75 Hard program. It's been an interesting and wonderful and amazing journey. And I didn't know this until recently, but there's actually more to the program after 75 Hard. Because actually it's called the Live Hard program. So you have 75 Hard, then you go into Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3. It's a year-long program. I figured it out once I listened to one of Andy Frisella's podcasts. And Andy Frisella is the man who created the Live Hard program. He is the founder and MF CEO of First Form, the great supplement company based out of Missouri. I use a lot of their products. I'm not sponsored yet, hopefully. But go give them a look. Go check out Andy's podcast, Paying the Dues, Paying the Fee of Sharing. It's called Real AF with Andy Frisella. It's really, really good. Highly recommend it. Maybe not with kids around because he does cuss quite a bit. But for a more mature audience, absolutely. I still can't believe it. That was a quick 75 days. So now we're on to Phase 1, where I've added 3 critical tasks. 5 minutes of a cold shower and 10 minutes of visualization. I think, what's it called? It's visualization, but there's something else about it. It is 10 minutes of, dedicated visualization. And everything else from 75 Hard previous, but you add those 3 things, so that makes up your 8 critical tasks that you need to complete in a day. So recording this podcast, right now it is 1 a.m., and I wanted to get this in because it's on my critical task list. And the last thing I need to do, which I talked about previously in this episode, is I need to go fold my laundry because there's a mountain of it in my room. Because we were traveling from vacation, 4th of July, and there's probably about 3 loads worth of laundry, and I don't want it to sit there. So I gotta go not crash. I gotta go knock out that last critical task so I can complete day 3 of phase 1. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope my content continues to improve, as I think it is the more I get in front of the camera, as I'm working on certain skills and abilities. And again, I just want to say thank you guys. I'm going to keep grinding and getting stuff out to you, hopefully inspire you, get you guys moving in the right direction in life. So let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any questions about 75 Hard, please reach out. Probably reach out on Instagram or TikTok in a comment. That'd probably be the best way to reach out to me, or email me. Hope you guys have a great day. Thank you guys again for listening. Peace.